America was not born powerful. America was built through struggle, ambition, rebellion, and blood. Before freedom, there was control. Before democracy, there was oppression. Before the American dream, there was sacrifice. This is not just the history of a nation. This is the story of how power is created and what it costs. This is the story of American history. Long before European ships crossed the Atlantic, America was already alive. Millions of Native Americans lived across forests, plains, deserts, mountains, and river valleys. They built civilizations, developed agriculture, created trade routes, and formed political systems. This land was not empty. It was organized, managed, and deeply connected to nature. Societies like the Mississippians built large cities. The ancestral Puebloans constructed stone homes in cliffs. The Iroquois Confederacy practiced democratic governance centuries before Europe. Nature was not conquered, it was respected. Then history took a sharp turn. In 1492, Christopher Columbus reached the Americas. This moment is often called a discovery. But for the people already living here, it was an invasion. Europeans arrived with weapons, religion, and a hunger for land and wealth. They also brought diseases, smallpox, measles, influenza. Entire communities vanished without a single battle. Spain, France, and England competed to control territory, resources, and trade routes. America became a prize in a global power struggle. England established 13 colonies along the eastern coast. Life was harsh. Food was scarce. Disease was common. Over time, farms expanded, towns grew, and trade increased. But this growth depended heavily on slavery. Millions of Africans were forcibly taken from their homes and sold into bondage. The wealth of the colonies was built on stolen land and stolen lives. Freedom existed, but only for a few. After fighting expensive wars in Europe, Britain needed money. The solution was simple: tax the colonies. New laws were imposed without colonial consent. The Stamp Act, the Sugar Act, the Tea Act. Colonists had no representatives in Parliament. One idea united them: no taxation without representation. Protests spread. Anger grew. Trust collapsed. When colonists dumped British tea into Boston Harbor, rebellion became unavoidable. War erupted between the colonies and the most powerful empire on earth. The colonial army was poorly equipped and inexperienced, but it had something stronger: belief. George Washington led an army driven by the idea of self-rule. With determination and foreign support, the impossible happened. In 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed. It declared that all men are created equal, an idea far ahead of its time and deeply imperfect in practice. After years of war, Britain surrendered. America was born. Winning independence was only the beginning. The new nation faced chaos, debt, and division. A constitution was written to prevent tyranny. Power was divided between branches of government. Rights were promised to citizens, but freedom was limited. Slavery continued. Women had no political voice. Native Americans were pushed further west. America was free but unfinished. Americans believed it was their destiny to expand across the continent. This belief justified violence, broken treaties, and forced removals. Native nations were driven from ancestral lands. The Trail of Tears became a symbol of suffering. New states were formed. Railroads spread. America grew larger and stronger, but more divided. Slavery became the central conflict of the nation. The South depended on it. The North increasingly opposed its expansion. When Abraham Lincoln was elected, Southern states seceded. Civil war began. It was brutal, personal, and devastating. Families were torn apart. Hundreds of thousands died. In the end, slavery was abolished. The Union Survey. After the war, America industrialized rapidly. Factories replaced farms. Cities exploded with immigrants seeking opportunity. Railroads connected the nation. Corporations gained enormous power. But wealth was unequal. Workers suffered. Child labor was common. Progress came at a heavy cost. In World War I, America entered late, but emerged stronger. Then came the Great Depression. Banks collapsed. Millions lost everything. World War II changed America forever. After Pearl Harbor, the nation mobilized completely. Factories became weapons of war. In 1945, America emerged as a global superpower, the only nation to use atomic weapons. The world order had changed. Two superpowers faced each other. The United States and the Soviet Union. Nuclear weapons threatened humanity itself. Wars were fought indirectly in Korea, Vietnam, and beyond. At home, Americans demanded civil rights. Martin Luther King Jr. challenged injustice. America was forced to confront its own contradictions. The Cold War ended. The Soviet Union collapsed. America stood alone at the top. Then came September 11, 2001. Terror reshaped foreign policy. Wars followed. Security replaced freedom in many areas. Technology transformed life. The internet, social media, artificial intelligence. America became more powerful and more divided. Is America declining or evolving? History shows that America survives by reinventing itself. The story is not finished. America is not perfect. It never was. But its history reflects humanity itself. Ambition, cruelty, hope, and resistance. To understand America today, you must understand where it came from, because the future is written by those who remember history. If you believe history matters, and stories like this should never be forgotten, subscribe to the channel, because this is not just America's story, it is the story of humanity.